So back in 2011 we won the competition for Savile Row, and we approached Kate just because of the local area, because of Savile Row, arts and crafts, the tailoring heritage. So we wanted a handmade building. I suppose none of us knew at the start really what it would entail to do it, but we knew that there was a journey, and it was going to be quite exciting, and to start with that. So
there were moments, weren't there? There were moments when we kind of, had we known, we might not have done it, but we're through those, aren't we? It was just an amazing journey, actually.
What I've noticed actually is when the building's been finished, is on the street, it's been used, the retail's been used, is that people will stop, take out their iPhones and take a snapshot of the building. Now generally to the general public, buildings are anonymous, they're just form parts of the street, things that people go in and out of. But this actually brings art onto the street. It's a highly decorated building, but it's very sort of understated, very modern, very contemporary.
I mean, the surface is so rich, isn't it? And yet it looks, because I normally make pieces that are very ebullient and loud and colourful. To hear you say that it still has this depth and this decorative quality kind of makes sense, because I'm a great, I always decorated things and covered things, and this is pared back, but at the same time it still has this very rich, decorated, elaborate surface.
The crystals are effectively three-dimensional when light hits them visually, so it reflects and reflects the light, and that was always part of it. So, as you say, when the sun shines on it, especially the black-blue tile, it changes from being inky, reflecting the sky, the clouds, to being sort of cobalt and sort of electric blue when the sun is on it.
For me, the sheer craft of every single one of the 10,000 tiles was hand decorated, the glaze was hand sieved, everything is so crafted and so bespoke. To me, it's sort of all together, the fact that the whole surface is all these facets of 30 centimetres squares, and they're not dead on. The precision is really sharp and beautiful, but at the same time there's this sense that it has been made by hand, even hung by hand. The tiles were hung one at a time. And because the road slopes and the building is square, to bridge the area between the bottom of the tiles and the pavement, we actually created this series of metal plinths that are using the pattern from the crystals themselves as the inspiration. And we had this all sand cast in a foundry in Stoke-on-Trent.
A lot of time with public art on buildings is something that is attached at the end and has nothing to do with the context or that. But we collaborated with Kate to create an architectural item that was highly decorated, had a link back to the building. It's a three-dimensional representation of the crystal tiles, and I think that as a finishing piece for the building to sit on the ground like that is great. And again, it's quite rare, so nothing is just added on without a lot of thought, a lot of care, a lot of context. And I hope something like this sort of will set the ground for future other buildings in London and elsewhere for that level of collaboration and that level of attention to detail, and I hope it sort of sets that kind of standard.